everybody, and welcome to the Hockey Tutorial Awards for 2022. Now, what we like to do in these videos is give awards to all of the manufacturers in the industry that have been making the biggest strides in our game, making the most noise, but in the best of ways. So every year, at the end of the year, around the same time, I like to drop this video where we essentially give those companies credit, we give them awards, we shout them out, and we talk about what they've been doing to separate themselves from everyone else in the game. Now, of course, before we jump into the video, a bunch of you that watch our content aren't subscribed. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you consider subscribing. Completely free, helps the channel out, helps us grow, helps us create these videos. And of course, if you like this format of videos, there's going to be a couple of changes to the categories. But if you like this style of video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And of course, if there's any categories you think that we might have missed or you want to see slightly edited or tweaked, please leave those comments down below in the comment section, because the categories that you're going to see for 2022 have been slightly adapted, and also some have been taken away, some have been added based on the feedback that we got from you from the previous video that we filmed for the end of 2021. But let's jump into this video for this year and take a look at the categories. Now, taking a look at the categories for 2022, the first one is going to be the best custom stick design for the year. Next up is going to be the best retail stick design. Now, from there is going to be a new category, which is going to be the most affordable brand. Now, this isn't just a random brand out there that creates the cheapest products that you can get. It's going to be a brand that offers you competitive pricing in comparison to what we're used to normally seeing, but most importantly, the performance and the quality is there. So most affordable brand is going to be a new category for this year. Next up from there is going to be the best all-round performing stick. I'm sure this one's going to raise a few eyebrows. You guys are going to go nuts in the comments for this one, but that's going to be one of the categories for this year. From there, it's going to be the best skate. Next up is going to be a very important one, which is the most improved company for 2022. From there, it's going to be the best full range of sticks. Now, this is when we look at a manufacturer, the top spec stick and the models below, which manufacturer out there is producing the best quality products at all of the different various price points. Next up is going to be the best innovation of 2022. From there, it's going to be the Humanization Award. From there, it's going to be the most accessible training product for off-ice. And then from there, it's going to be the most affordable protective that you can get. From there, it's going to be the most underrated product of 2022. Next up is going to be the most affordable protective of the year. And then from there, it's going to be the best protective of 2022. Next up is going to be the best or the most affordable stick brand for this year. And then of course from there, we've also added the best helmet for 2022, the best gloves for 2022, and another brand new category, which is going to be the Big Threat Award. And just to add a bit of context to the Big Threat Award, it's essentially going to be the award given to the company that's year on year, especially this year, more so than the others, has improved and is creating products that are essentially going to be able to take some market share, some serious market share away from some of the household names that we hear all the time that have been running the show for a very long time, which of course is Bauer and CCM. So which companies out there are producing equipment that is of a standard that is going to actually take away some market share from these companies as time goes on. And of course, something we hadn't done in the previous video is that there's going to be runner-ups and also honorable mentions as we go through all of the different categories for 2022. Now, the best custom stick design of 2022, who's going to get that? I think year on year, this manufacturer always creates incredibly unique custom designs and could arguably have been said to be one of the first to do things like flag sticks, flag skates. But without a shadow of a doubt, credit where credit is due, the award for the best custom stick design of 2022 goes to Bauer. Now, whether it be for the Olympics or whether it be for the Junior Worlds or for the IIHF, it doesn't matter what's going on. Bauer always seems to create insane custom sticks. They've also done this with skates as well, which is also a fair kind of like side comment to give them. They do a great job of creating insanely cool looking skates that I think any hockey player would want to get on their feet or with sticks get in their hands. So without a shadow of a doubt, the best custom stick design of 2022 goes to Bauer Hockey. Now, when we move on to retail sticks, this is something that's a little bit different. A lot of companies do like to play it safe with what they design. We always see year on year the same colors for the same stick families being released. Now, of course, CCM did do something a little bit different this year, which was nice, changing the trigger range of sticks from green to purple, which was quite bold, but I do say I like it. It's just something a little bit new. I would have loved to see more purple on their sticks, but it's nice to see that they have kind of changed things a little bit. So I do have to give them an honorable mention in that department. But in terms of the most outlandish stick design that I've seen from a manufacturer in 2022, this is something that we had only seen recently, and had this not happened, I would have probably given it to True Hockey. But I have to say, after seeing the Wrecker Element 1, it is probably the best looking stick I have ever seen, period. So the best retail stick design of 2022, without a shadow of a doubt, goes to Sherwood Hockey. Now, Sherwood has continued to surprise all of us here at HT with the quality of the equipment that they've been producing, especially in this year. A lot of you, if you haven't checked out Sherwood, it's definitely worth doing so now more than ever before. I'm stunned at what they produce, at the price points they produce it at, and also how outlandish they're willing to go with their designs. So big props and a big shout out to Sherwood. Now from there, of course, we have the most affordable stick brand of 2022. Now this is a tricky one because of course all of the manufacturers create products that are cheaper. You've got the top spec and then you've got the price points below that as well. And some manufacturers do a better job of creating more consistently performing sticks throughout all of the different price points. But it has to be said, there is one that if you look at their top spec stick and compare it in terms of pricing, performance, quality, durability, pop, pretty much everything that you'd want a stick to be able to do against some of the bigger manufacturer names, their top spec products are in some cases outperforming those other manufacturers. But more importantly, the price of their sticks in some cases is $100 less for a top spec stick when compared to some of the other household manufacturing names. So the most affordable stick brand for 2022 based on performance, consistency, durability, all of the features that you'd want a stick to have, without a shadow of a doubt, goes to Sherwood Hockey. As you can probably tell, Sherwood have been doing insane things behind the scenes. What they've dropped for 2022 is honestly unbelievable, especially at the price points that they're introducing their products at. I hope the standard of quality continues and also the price points that they're coming in at also stays the same. Sherwood have been doing a phenomenal job and I'm looking forward to see what they have in store for 2023. Next up is going to be the best all-round performing stick. Over the course of the last year, especially to be honest, the last 3-4 months, you've probably seen how many sticks we've been testing. And over that time, you kind of start to form an opinion on which sticks you feel are kind of like the best performing in all avenues. Now, some, of course, will excel based on the player's preference or the style of player that prefers a particular type of stick. So that does need to be mentioned before I jump into this one. But for us, the stick that we feel has kind of been the all-round performing stick, and also considering it from a price perspective because it's not a top spec stick, is going to be True's Hazardous 9X. This stick has outperformed so many sticks and it's one model below True's top spec stick, which is the PX. This came as a massive surprise to me filming the video, and probably a massive surprise to you who have watched these previous stick videos. If you've missed them, I'll link them down below. But the reason we kind of feel like this stick is the best all-round performing stick is from the perspective of how well it's executed on the ice. The fact that we've had no issues in terms of breakages, so the durability of this particular stick has been great. But more importantly, it's the fact that it is one model below the top spec stick, which is something we've never seen before. If you saw the video where we filmed the Battle of the Low Kick Sticks, which I will link again down below, it's the last video that I posted. In that video, Tommy went through all of the low kick point sticks from all of the major manufacturers, and essentially what he came up with was the Sherwood Wrecker Element 1 was the kind of his #1 go-to stick. Now, the only stick that would have tied with the Wrecker stick from Sherwood was the 9X, but because it wasn't the top spec stick, we didn't include it in that video. Instead, we used True's PX, which is the one model above the 9X. Now, had we used the 9X, the True and the Sherwood would have tied and taken top spot amongst all of the other sticks that we tested in that video, which just goes to show that that 9X stick is a well-rounded, insanely well-performing stick, and it's one model below top spec, which is nuts. So for sure, the best all-round performing stick award goes to True Hockey for the 9X. Now, moving on from there, taking a look at the best skate of 2022. Now, this could be argued that it is subjective, definitely less subjective than sticks. Now, let me explain why. When we look at skates, of course, some skates do benefit players based on fit. If you have a wide foot, you would typically go for this skate over this one, for example. But over the years, we've seen how that's now no longer the case. The player can select the skate based on performance features and the style of skate that they like to go for, rather than letting the skate select them based on fit. So the award for the best skate of 2022, without a shadow of a doubt, goes to CCM Hockey with the ASV Pro Custom Skate. Now, the reasons for this are not only based around the fit, the way that the custom skate is created, the customization options that you have in terms of the foams, the liners, whether you have a flexible tendon, a stiff tendon, almost 14 different tongue options. There are so many ways that you can customize this skate to benefit you on the ice, not only in fit, comfort, and performance and protection, but also just having a completely one-off skate that nobody else has on the ice. It's not just having something flashy and fancy on the ice, it's the practicality and the options that they offer and the finished result. Of course, if you want to see a video on this, I'll link it down below where we go in depth and show you all of the options that you have when you order a custom skate from CCM, what that process looks like, how long it takes. Video will be linked down below, but that award definitely goes to CCM. Now from there, looking at the next category, which is the most improved company of 2022. Now this is a tricky one because there has been a lot of stuff happening in terms of companies creating some phenomenal products. And it's not just the big companies that we need to shout out, it's also some of the smaller ones that might not get as much noise or as much exposure as the household names that we're typically used to seeing. But one company has done so much in 1 year to essentially reinvent themselves and then reintroduce themselves to the hockey community. And that company is Sherwood Hockey. Sherwood have been doing big things. Their protective is on point, their sticks are on point, their branding, their messaging, even the way they present themselves to the community is all on point. And in all honesty, they're doing it in a way that a lot of the bigger manufacturers should actually learn and observe the way that they're doing what they're doing. I love how inclusive they are. I love what they're doing to change the game. But more importantly, I really adore the level of product they've been dropping over the course of 2022. So for sure, the most improved company of 2022, arguably the decade, goes to Sherwood Hockey. Now moving on from there, the next category is going to be the best full range of sticks. Now again, this is a category that you guys kind of heavily prompted us to introduce because you want us to kind of pull away from always focusing on top spec. Now this is something we are going to make more of an effort to do so in 2023, so stay tuned for that. But in terms of the manufacturer out there that creates the best sticks at all of the various different price points, not just the top spec, after having tested every major manufacturer that is out there with sticks, we all agreed in terms of everyone behind the scenes at HT is that that award has to go to True Hockey. Now I'm sure you've seen, and also my comments from earlier on in this video about the 9X versus the PX. When we look down the entire range of sticks, in terms of the different price points, when we look at specifically the hazardous range of sticks from True Hockey, the quality and the performance that you get throughout every single price point is remarkable. They're doing incredible things with their sticks. Now True Hockey over the course of the last year, we feel have had big improvements on the entire range of sticks that they offer at all of the different price points when we VS it against anything they've ever produced prior to this. The hazardous range of sticks specifically performs incredibly well at every single price point, which is what made this so easy to select. True are doing incredibly good things with their skates right now and also their sticks. So this one was a pretty easy one to select, having tested the majority of sticks that are out there. True definitely takes this award. They're doing incredible things and we're more than happy to give it to them. We've mentioned this in other videos when we looked specifically at the PX against the 9X. The 9X is the model below top spec, the PX is the top spec stick from the hazardous range, and the 9X performs so well. The stick below that, the 7X as well, performs incredibly well, and they're all sub 400 grams. True is doing really big things with their sticks right now, and it's nice to see that they're paying attention to the models below top spec. So regardless of how much money you're spending with your sticks when you're buying a True Hockey stick, you know that you're going to be getting a good performing stick at pretty much any price point. So the award for the best range of sticks goes to True Hockey. Now next up, we're going to be looking at the best innovation of 2022. This category is one that we've pulled across from the previous video from last year, and I don't think it's going to be taken anytime soon. I still think this manufacturer has created something that has really changed the lives, the conveniences, the stress levels of a lot of hockey players and hockey parents and hockey guardians that are out there, and also coaches, people that run teams, that run clubs, and that, without a shadow of a doubt, goes to Sparks Hockey. The best innovation of 2022, perhaps the decade, is going to be Sparks Hockey with their home skate sharpener. I cannot tell you how much of an improvement on just the process of creating videos, again, when we look at runners, when we look at all of the different brands of skates that we've been looking at, when we're running our own scrimmages, playing outdoors, traveling across Europe, being able to throw a sparks machine in the trunk of a car and drive around wherever you need to and sharpen skates remotely from pretty much anywhere that you want to sharpen skates from is a massive, massive advantage, and something that you just couldn't do previously to this with as much ease. And the Sparks Home Sharpener is one of the most convenient products in hockey, period. So the award for the most innovative product of 2022 goes to Sparks Hockey. Now from there is going to be the Humanization Award. This award goes to the company that you really feel is run by a community of hockey players or real hockey players. And what I mean by that is sometimes when you see some posts from manufacturers out there, they feel very mechanical, very robotic, and it really does feel like someone in a corporate office is running the social media accounts, which doesn't really feel authentic. But there are brands out there and companies out there that have such a deep-rooted connection to hockey, the roots of the game, and that really does come across when these people are the ones posting on social media, interacting with their audiences. And for me, for 2022, I feel like the company that's done the best job of that is going to be Third Assist. Now, although Third Assist aren't a massive manufacturer, they produce quality products, especially if you're in the ODR scene. If you saw the previous video that I filmed about ODR essentials and what's in my pond hockey bag, Third Assist manufactures some incredibly bespoke products that kind of take you back to the old school of hockey, and I love to see that. And just the way that they interact with their audience online, the type of content that they post on their social media accounts really does feel deep-rooted in kind of like the foundation of hockey, and I love to see that, especially the way they interact with their community. So the Humanization Award for 2022, without a shadow of a doubt, goes to Third Assist. Now, moving quickly on from there, the next one is going to be the most accessible training product for off-ice use. Now, this is going to be a category that I don't think is going to be able to be overthrown anytime soon. You guessed it, it's going to be Green Biscuit and also Hockey Wraparound. I feel like those two products together are the ultimate off-ice training aids, and it's very difficult to find anything else that is more accessible than those. It's a puck, it's a blade protector that goes on the bottom of your stick, and you can essentially take the game of hockey anywhere. I really don't see anyone else being able to overthrow them. You have to stick with the originals. So the award for the most accessible training product of 2022, probably again the decade, that's kind of like a repeating theme right now, goes to Hockey Wraparound, the original Hockey Wraparound, and also the Green Biscuit. Joint award because these two hand in hand are just perfect together. Now, as we move on from there, the next one is going to be what I feel is a category that's definitely needed and is going to be fun to see how it evolves over the next couple of years, and that's going to be the most underrated product of 2022. Now, this isn't because of its performance or because of its price, it's just because not many people know about it. And having looked at all of the different products that we've looked at in the last year, it was pretty easy to select this one. The award for the most underrated product of 2022 goes to TrueFit Custom Mouth Guards. Now, these mouth guards are easily the most incredible, the most slim and streamlined mouth guards I've ever used. Same with anyone else from behind the scenes at Hockey Tutorial that's tried one. I've not seen any other mouth guards on the market that can compete with these in terms of fit, customization options, but most importantly, protection, ability to speak clearly, breathe clearly, drink. These are the best mouth guards you will ever lay your hands on. If you haven't seen them, I will link a video down below. It sounds like a hard plug, but it's just reality, and it stuns me that more people don't know about them, hence the award that they're getting right now. So for the 2022 period, or this year, the most underrated product that you guys need to check out is going to be True Custom Fit Mouth Guards. Now, next up from there is going to be a category that you guys, again, strongly wanted me to add, and that's going to be the most affordable protective. When we look across all of the different manufacturers, of course, there's some manufacturers out there that produced really good quality protective in terms of top to bottom, but that has kind of slimmed down over the course of the last couple of years. So you don't have anywhere near as much choice as you used to, so it does kind of make it a little bit easier. And when you look at the mainstream manufacturers that make protective in terms of shoulders, elbows, gloves, shins, or shorts as well, you're only left with either paying a lot of money for the top spec, and as you drop down in ranges, of course, you're going to be losing some of that padding, some of that protection. And of course, those are really targeted at different levels of play. But when you put that aside and you're trying to get the most bang for your buck for protective, who's the company you need to look at right now in 2022 and of course going into 2023? That unquestionably is going to be Sherwood Hockey. Aside from them manufacturing sticks that have blown ourselves away in 2022, Sherwood also have protective that we've actually been looking at over the course of the last few weeks. So it's definitely going to be something we'd strongly recommend checking out if you're trying to find the best way to maximize on protection, but also save on money as well when you're buying your gear. So the most affordable protective brand for 2022 goes to Sherwood Hockey. Now from there, most affordable protective, best bang for your buck. Next category is closely related to that, which is the best protective. So if you're not concerned about how much you spend and you want the best protective you can get currently, what company's making that? Again, having looked at all of the brands, all of the major brands that are out there right now, we feel the best protective you can get right now is the SuperTax range from CCM Hockey. I feel like the partnership with CCM and D3O, who are funnily enough based in England, that foam, that goo that CCM have in collaboration with D3O added to their protective really does give them an advancement compared to anything else that's on the market. Now, this isn't favoritism, this isn't me kind of being opinionated towards one brand over another, this is just fact. If you look at what D3O does, of course there are other companies out there that make similar materials that react similarly, but in terms of the partnerships in hockey with different manufacturers that are working together to create the most protective equipment hockey players can get today, after having tested everything that's out there currently, we feel that D3O and CCM are producing the best protective that you can pick up, and that's just a fact. So if you're looking for the best protective of 2022 for a hockey player, that's going to be the SuperTax range from CCM Hockey.
That was savage. Look at it. Look at it.
Oh, that was bad.
Jeez, that was bad. That was really, really bad.
Oh. That's good though, right?
No way!
Now, of course, next category is going to be the most or best affordable stick brand of 2022. Now, this is going to be closely tied to some of the other categories, but again, what we're looking at is quality and price and having something that's comparable to every other big manufacturer that is out there. And when you look at all of the sticks that are out there, who's producing the best sticks in terms of getting the best bang for your buck and also considering the level of performance you're getting out of the stick? And that manufacturer, without a question of a doubt, is going to be Sherwood Hockey for the most affordable stick brand of 2022. I've said it many times in this video, Sherwood are doing very, very big things with the equipment that they're manufacturing right now, but most importantly, it's quality and also controlled pricing. I feel like what they're asking in terms of cost for their sticks is incredibly reasonable considering the level of performance that you're getting out of the sticks. So Sherwood have been doing really big things, and it makes it very easy to give them the award for the best or the most affordable stick brand of 2022. It's very important for me to mention that this isn't in any way a reflection of the quality or the performance that you're getting out of the stick, saying that it's the most affordable so it's not made as well as the others. These sticks, as you've seen when we looked at the Battle of the Low Kick sticks, the Sherwood Wrecker outperformed every other stick that was included in that video, which is insane considering it was one of the best priced sticks in that video. So it's very easy to give Sherwood this award. Now, next up, we're going to be looking at the best helmet of 2022. Now, this could be a very subjective video, and we've done a bunch of videos on helmets before. I've tested pretty much every worthwhile helmet that is out there from all of the various manufacturers. And the one helmet that I've never had to think about anything on my head with, without a shadow of a doubt, is the Custom X helmet from CCM. Now, of course, I understand that this is a little bit of a catch-22 because it's a custom helmet, which means it's not cheap and it's made to the shape of my head. So of course it's going to fit perfectly. But a custom helmet, if you're looking for the best helmet that is out there, a custom helmet is really the only way to go. There is nothing at a retail level that is going to be able to compete with a custom helmet. So it makes it very easy to select the best helmet that's out there. It's going to be the one that's made specifically for your head shape. Next up is going to be one of the last categories for this video, and that's going to be the best gloves of 2022, which without a shadow of a doubt is going to be a very subjective video. And now, of course, if you guys disagree with this, comment down below and let me know what you think the best gloves of this year are. This is a subjective category, so please bear with us. I actually prefer a pair of gloves from Bauer. If you watch the videos when I'm doing the intros or while I'm playing hockey, I actually do use these gloves pretty much the entire time, unless I'm playing outside on the ponds or in frozen lakes or whatever. In that case, I'll be using third assists gloves, but I generally use Bauer gloves if I'm in scrimmages playing in indoor rinks. The gloves that Tommy uses are equally as good, so it does really put us in a catch-22, but we overall voted and decided that the best gloves that we've seen for 2022 goes to CCM for the ASV Pro gloves. Now, of course, very subjective, but the award has to go to someone, and these were the pair of gloves that we could all agree were excellent in terms of protective, in terms of maneuverability or mobility. You don't think about them when you're on the ice with them, and that's always exactly what you want your equipment to be like. You just want to keep your head in the game, and you want the equipment to do its job silently. And we felt that overall, this award had to go to CCM for the ASV Pro gloves. Now that brings us to the last category of this video, and that's going to be the Big Threat Award. Now this isn't in any way anything negative. It's gonna go to the company that has been making the most noise, making the biggest strides in terms of trying to take market share away from the larger or household manufacturer names that we know that have been running the game for a very, very long time. And those manufacturers are obviously going to be Bauer and CCM. A lot of companies, especially companies like Warrior, like Sherwood, like True, have been doing a lot of things in the background, creating incredibly well-performing gear, trying to get more competitive with their pricing. But at the same time, what we are seeing is an increase in the cost of the equipment that we play with. Some of the pricing for sticks, and I'm not even going to sugarcoat it, for example, like the Agent stick from Bauer, although it is a uniquely designed stick with crazy properties, crazy technology that we've never seen in hockey before, I feel like the price points are getting a little bit ridiculous right now, and I can say that quite openly, and I know a lot of you will agree with this. The notion of having to pay so much for quality is getting a bit ridiculous now. But when it's justified, it's justified. With things like custom, you kind of have to put your hands up and understand that this is custom, it's gonna cost more. But I feel like the pricing with other things is creeping up and is getting to a stage that actually makes it easy for other manufacturers to walk in the door, to produce equipment of the same standard, in some cases better, at a much lower price point. And I feel like this is only going to be a positive for us as hockey players, because we're going to hopefully see other manufacturers creating equipment that we can kind of divert from some of the bigger household names from, and start investing in equipment that doesn't cost as much, that performs equally as well, or in some cases better. So this award was a very tricky one to produce, and also to kind of select and kind of name a company that gets it, because there is a lot of companies out there doing great things. Of course, Warrior definitely gets an honorable mention. True, Sherwood, they all get honorable mentions in this video, but the way that I was able to select the company that gets this award is based on the fact that they are the only manufacturer out of the three that I just mentioned that manufacture skates and also sticks. So if you haven't guessed it already, the award for the Big Threat of 2022 goes to True Hockey. Having looked at True skates, their sticks, their gloves, pretty much their entire catalog, it's really clear to see that they are doing incredible things with their skates. There are probably one or two things that I'd love to see adapted on their skates, specifically the Cat 9 skates, which is going to be the tongue. That's probably the only area of the skate that I'd like to see adapted, just to fit the way that I move around on the ice. I would personally like a much, much thicker tongue. But aside from that, the performance of those skates being one model below their top spec skate, and funnily enough, I'm also skating in one model below CCM's top spec ASV Pro skates, gave me a really nice base to compare them to also Bauer's skates as well. And I was very surprised at the level of performance, comfort, even the build quality of what I'm seeing with True's skates right now. This is definitely more relevant now than it's ever been in the past. I am very pleased with what I'm seeing from them, and it's why I felt like when you look at the quality of equipment they're producing with both sticks and also skates, that True had to get the award for the Big Threat of 2022. As always, guys, a big thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. Let me know if you agree with the category points that I've mentioned in this video. If you don't, comment down below and let me know who should have got which award instead of the companies that I selected. And of course, make sure you let me know why. But if you like this format of video, make sure you thumbs up and also subscribe so you can stay up to date with all of the videos that we produce. A big thank you for this year. 2022 has been a crazy year for us, but we're glad to still be here producing videos for you guys. And a massive thank you for all of the manufacturers that continue to support us year on year to make all of these dope videos possible. And I can say that we're going to be kicking off the new year with taking a flight to go see a manufacturer to shoot some incredibly dope content for yourselves. So this being the last opportunity I've got to do this video was filmed on the 31st of December and is going to be posted today, the last day of the year. Big thank you for watching. I hope you guys had a good Christmas. Stay safe, and I will catch you in 2023 with a brand new HT intro and a boatload of new content. Thank you for the support, guys, and I'll catch you in the new year. Take care.